welcome to the North Miami City Council, sitting at 776 Northeast 125th Street at the City Council chambers on the second floor. Today is again Tuesday, November 13th, 2012, 1 week after President Obama defeated Mitt Romney in this great election. We are now calling the North Miami City Council meeting into order. To begin this evening, we're going to call on Officer Niall Johnson, officer for the month of October, to lead us in a pledge of allegiance.
Everybody can stand up, place your right hand over your heart, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We're going to call on the city manager for the invocation this evening.
Going to ask all that we bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we ask that you tonight guide us in this meeting. We ask that you grant us with your knowledge, your wisdom, and your understanding to make decisions on behalf of this great community. All these things we ask. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. Mr. City Clerk, would you do roll call?
Vice Mayor Steriel. Here. Councilman Galvin.
Here.
Mayor Pierre.
Here.
Councilman Marcellus.
Here.
Councilman Blaine.
Thank you, Mr. City
Mayor,
Clerk.
we have a quorum.
Let the record reflect that we do have a quorum to conduct the business of the people. Mr. City Manager, additions, deletions, amendments to this city agenda.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I respectfully request that there be an addition to be labeled under resolutions. It would be tab L1. And
Okay.
that would be the only item.
Okay. Any other deletions, amendments, deferrals?
Mr. Mayor.
Anything else, Mr. Manager?
That would be it.
Okay. Before we move on, we're going to move on to. We're not at the consent agenda yet. I'm not sure if you're going to item. Is it still an order of business?
That's how I saw it.
Okay.
Yes. The question I was going to ask is whether I can pull an item off of the consent agenda on my own and put it onto the regular agenda, or Madam City Attorney, do I need to have a vote of the council to pull an item off of the consent agenda and discuss it as a standalone?
That would be under consent.
Yeah, I believe you have to make a motion and have a vote.
Okay. If I'd like to do that in tonight's consent agenda, do I do that now or do I do that under consent agenda?
I would imagine you could do it under consent agenda.
Okay.
Okay.
So when we get to the consent agenda, we'll address that. Now we're going to move on into special presentations. I'm going to ask the City Council, please step down so we could present these proclamations tonight. Begin with, of course, officers of the month. I'm going to call on, I guess, the Chief of Police to present to us exactly what we have done, what these officers have done to be the officers of the month, which is Officers Elizabeth Gutierrez and Officer Niall Johnson. Okay, Chief?
Now, good. Thank you. Right, the North Miami Police Department Officer of the Month for October of 2012 are Officer Elizabeth Gutierrez and Officer Niall Johnson. I do apologize, Elizabeth is on vacation with her family. But they are both assigned to the Uniform Patrol Division, the afternoon shift. On October the 11th, 2012, Officer Gutierrez and Johnson responded to a life or death call that an individual was going to commit suicide by jumping off the balcony of a first floor apartment building. These officers expeditiously traveled to the location and made their way up to the 21st floor. And I'm going to add, the elevator wasn't working, so they took the stairs. Okay. Now, when they located the subject, he was indeed standing on the outside narrow ledge of the balcony railing, holding on to the railing with only one arm. He was positioned in a manner that they could not even reach to grab him without risking not only the life of the individual, but their life as well. Under this stressful situation, both officers made an attempt to calm and build a rapport with the man that was depressed. At first, the man was not talking whatsoever to the officers, but they remained determined, calm, and patient. And as a result of their persistence, the distraught man began speaking with them for almost 2 hours, okay, of negotiating back and forth, trying to calm this individual down. And you know, let me say one thing. I'm a hostage negotiator, okay, back in the days with City of Miami. And when you look at two officers up on the 21st floor dealing with life and death situation, and a lot of times it takes us about a good hour to have our hostage negotiators come in. But now a veteran of North Miami, I'm not going to say how many years, over 20 years, to be able to, and this is what we talk about, you know, commitment to the police department and the community, to be able to sit up there, talk to the individual to the point to where the guy said, listen, I was depressed because I had lost my job. Okay, a veteran of the force, and to able to, and we just celebrated Veterans Day, okay, to able to have this individual climb back inside is just, it's phenomenal. Okay, so now he wears the stripe because he's also a field training officer. He trains the new police officers. And it is such an honor, you know, for me to just stay here and say to you, thank you for the hard work you do. Okay, thank you to Commander Key that's here as well, that's his supervisor. I guess I have Major Watler that's in the back. And it's all a team effort. What we do every day, we talk to each other. Assistant Chief Burgess, it's not all about wearing the rank, but it's caring for the other officers. And when you care for them, you explain to them how to love and take care of this community, it shows the work that he just did. And again, I have to say, 2 hours of negotiating with a person, patience, to where, what, an inch, then the person would have taken their life. Now, my respect goes out to you.
For all you have done, Officer Johnson, the City of North Miami, along with the City Council and, of course, more than 60,000 residents, do hereby proclaim the month of October to be your month in the City of North Miami, and urge all residents to recognize and celebrate your contributions in this community. Thank you so much for your work in this area. Truly appreciate that. Can we have Major Watler please come forward? I mean, this is Cardona. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, let's give him a round of applause again.
Disturbance in the background. Ready? 1, 2.
Did you get him a good sign?
What's the guy doing today?
I believe he's still in the second word.
Oh.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, Major. Yeah. Excuse me. There you go. I didn't know that. Okay, good. Thank you, Officer Johnson, for the wonderful work that you do day in and day out in the city of North Miami. We're going to call on Mr. Jeff Geimer to recognize the employee of the quarter, which is Maurice Laguerre, which is the recreational leader for Section 2, I guess. Mr. Geimer, please come forward.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Good evening, everyone. Jeff Geimer, Director of Parks and Recreation. I'm going to be very short because I'm going to turn the microphone over to Annalisa Walker. Annalisa is the Recreation Supervisor on our staff who oversees the great work that Maurice does, and she's put together his nomination for this recognition. I would also like to thank the city staff for recognizing Maurice for all of his efforts and hard work that he puts forward on a day-to-day basis. Annalisa?
Good evening, everyone. As Jeff mentioned, I have the privilege this evening to recognize our employee of the quarter, Maurice Laguerre. Maurice has been working with the city of North Miami since 1991, and he started with the city of North Miami as a camp counselor and bus driver. And he actually used to drive me around as a camper. And now I have the privilege of supervising him. So, as he's been with us for several years, he's actually moved up through the ranks, and he is now the recreation leader too, who oversees the daily operations and programming at Sunkist Grove Community Center. He's very active in the community. Most of you may know him over Haitian radio or walking out in the community and reaching out to our residents for community events and programs that not only does the city offer, but our department as well. He has been instrumental in the Vita Tax Service program for the last 3 years, and that program offers free tax service to the community, and he has been tremendous in recruiting volunteers, getting the community to come out and take advantage of this wonderful opportunity. He's also very active with the after-school tutoring program at Sunkist Grove, and we have that in partnership with the Russell Life Skills and Reading Room Foundation. So we are very proud of Maurice for all his efforts. And one thing about Maurice, he'll never tell you no. It doesn't matter how big or small the task is. He doesn't ask questions. Matter of fact, his answer to me is always, yes, boss. So it is my honor and pleasure this evening to introduce Maurice Laguerre as employee of the quarter. Yes. Can I have his wife and his family up, please?
Congratulations. Congratulations. Hey, congratulations again, sir. There you go. All right, good. Stand here. Okay. There you go. Okay. Good. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. Thank you. Moving on with special presentations, I'm going to call on Miss Leslie Kataya from the Aventura Hospital and Medical Center, Director of Marketing and Public Relations. Please come forward, Leslie, along with Judy Newman. Judy Newman is a registered nurse, and she's from the Healing Center for Diabetics and Outpatient Director. Thank you so much for being here with us. Let's give them a round of applause. As you know, the month of October is National Diabetic Awareness Month, and I'm going to ask both young ladies to come forward and let the community know exactly, number one, what this is doing to our community, and number two, how to prevent it from happening, and what the city can do to move on the national agenda. Thank you so much. Judy? Okay.
Thank you. Diabetes is on the rise, and we need to stop it. And by doing simple lifestyle changes, by meal planning, exercising, and taking the medications that you are prescribed by your doctor, you can prevent it. If you have pre-diabetes, you definitely can convert that and get rid of it. Diabetes is a national problem. We have the increase on type 2 diabetes. There are 75 million people that have pre-diabetes, and 26.8, I think, was the last statistic that have diabetes, and there are 18.8 million don't know they have it. So you need to empower yourself and take care of yourself. And what we do at Aventura, we have an outreach community program where we do community fairs, and I've been here many times in the city of North Miami. And we also have a diabetes outpatient program where we have 5 certified diabetes educators that can help you with a meal plan or taking control and empowering you to take care of your diabetes. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's give Judy a round of applause. Thank you. And Leslie? Okay.
Well, I think that Judy kind of covered everything that we do on the diabetic realm, and she's definitely our expert in that. But as the director of marketing, one of the pleasures that I have is being able to partner with our different municipal leaders and having them help and serve as our ambassadors to teach the community how they can keep themselves healthy and to help us spread the message that staying healthy and being on top of your wellness is the best way to prevent any types of diseases. And we are very fortunate to be able to partner with the City of Miami on many different events that we've had in the past, both at Aventura and in the city as well. And this is truly an honor to be recognized for what we're doing for the community, but really it's in your hands to be able to take care of yourselves and to use the tools that we give you to live a better life. So thank you.
Thank you. Come on, give Leslie a round of applause. And Leslie, in consideration for all you have, Leslie and Judy, in consideration for all you have done in our surrounding cities, including Aventura and probably South Florida and nationally, the city is proclaiming November 2012 to be National Diabetes Awareness Month in the city of North Miami, and urge all residents to recognize this month in our community. And we would like to present this proclamation to you two young ladies. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're going to call on Twila Gonzalez, the Director of Foster Care Review, to please come forward to accept this proclamation. This is proclamation in honor of National Adoption Month. Let's give Miss Gonzalez, Twila Gonzalez, a round of applause for being here in the city of North Miami to accept this proclamation. And I would like you to come forward and talk a little bit about adoption, how important it is. I was just in Haiti in a funeral, and to realize how long it takes to adopt children from that country. And even in China, I think in China right now the waiting period is like 3 years. In Haiti it's like 5 or 6 years, and I don't know what's going on in America, so you may want to tell the general public how important it is if you do have the time to adopt here in this country. So please come forward.
Hi, I'm Twila Gonzalez, actually Assistant Director of the Foster Care Review, and let me explain a little bit about what we do. Foster Care Review trains citizens from this very community to review the cases of children in foster care. Every 6 months, once a child enters foster care, it's a legal requirement that their case be reviewed to make sure it's progressing towards finding them a permanent home. And those reviews have to continue every 6 months until that case is closed. For a case to be closed, that can be by means of finding a permanent guardian for them, reunification, or adoption. Adoption is an extra special process. That's a situation in which an individual or a couple or a family chooses to allow a child to become part of their family, a child who doesn't have his or her own family. And in foster care review, we think it's extra special when we see a case where a child who has been in foster care who needs a family has found one through adoption. Actually, there's a countywide celebration at the Miami Children's Museum on Friday. And adoption is an extra stringent process to go through. Families who want to adopt a child must basically open their entire history, their entire lives up to scrutiny, and take a painstaking journey into the process of being unified with a particular child, and that may or may not end up closing an adoption. It's a lot of work, it's an emotional toil, but it pays off greatly for both the child and the family. So thank you very much, and if you're remotely considering adoption, I definitely encourage you, and I encourage you to adopt from foster care.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Gonzalez, and of course for all you have done. The City of North Miami is pleased to issue this proclamation in honor of National Adoption Month, and we are proclaiming November 2012 to be National Adoption Month and recognize and ask all the residents to recognize and celebrate this in our community. Thank you so much, Ms. Gonzalez, for accepting this proclamation from the City of North Miami.
Second best, married.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, we are done with special presentation, but just briefly, most of you may not know, I just want to say my condolences to Vice Mayor Stereo for the passing of her brother-in-law. This was, I'm not sure if a lot of people are aware of it, but this is a close brother-in-law. And I want to say, as the mayor of this great city, one of the best in the country, my condolences to you and your family for the passing of your brother-in-law. We're done with special presentation. Thank you so much. Okay. City event. Hey, Jeff. What's going on? How are you?
Our public information officer, correction, is now as public information manager. Pam Solomon is back. We are glad that she's back with us, so she will have our city events.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. She has a new look, you know. Is that the glasses or no?
Same old person. Just tuned up a little bit.
She's just becoming more refined.
That's it. I'll go with that. Good evening, everyone. It gives me great pleasure to share with you all of our upcoming events for the month of November here in the city of North Miami. And there are several to share with you this evening. Starting with actually tomorrow, Vice Mayor Sterrell is hosting her 8th annual turkey distribution. The time is at 12 noon in the spirit of the Thanksgiving holiday. She'll be at Sunkist Grove Community Center, which is located at 12500 Northwest 13th Avenue. And she started this initiative, like I said, 8 years ago to distribute turkeys, one per family, to the community. And it is done on a first-come, first-served basis. For more details, you may contact the Office of the Mayor and Council at 305-895-9815. Also, Wednesday evening, tomorrow evening, we have our North Miami Public Library is hosting our first annual opening night of the Student and Community Arts Exhibition. And we invite you to celebrate creativity, self-expression, and imagination. We will have live music, refreshments, and the opportunity to make new friends. Enjoy artwork exhibits by K through 12 students in our community, art teachers in the Miami-Dade County Public Schools, as well as community artists. The program is free and open to the public, but we do invite you to RSVP to the North Miami Public Library at 305-891-5535. And the North Miami Public Library is located at 835 Northeast 132nd Street, and that event will take place at 6:30 p.m. tomorrow evening. This Friday, November 16th, we have our movie night Under the Stars. We're featuring Ghostbusters, which is a flashback to the 80s. And we're hosting this event at Keystone Community Center, Bobby Hammer Field. That's located at 13050 Exora Court. The movie begins at 6:30 p.m., but we will have music and activities leading up to the movie. We invite you to bring a blanket or a chair to sit on and just enjoy the evening out at our parks. Coolers are welcome with non-alcoholic beverages only. And for more information, please contact our North Miami Parks and Recreation Department at 305-895-9840. This Saturday, November 17th at 11 a.m., Councilman Jean Marcellus will be hosting a Thanksgiving food distribution and health fair in partnership with the Haitian Diaspora Organization and Farm Share. They're going to kick off the holiday season by giving out 80,000 pounds of food. And of course, distribution is first come, first serve. It begins promptly at 11 a.m. The health fair will be open from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. with free screenings from various health providers in our community. We'll have live music and entertainment throughout the afternoon as well. For details, please contact the Office of the Mayor and Council at 305-895-9818. Next Monday, November 19th, right at 5:30 p.m. at the Gwen Margolis Community Center, we're hosting a charter review workshop, and that center is located at 1590 Northeast 123rd Street. The purpose of the workshop is to review and discuss any proposed changes to the City of North Miami's charter. All residents and business owners are encouraged to attend and share your opinions. For more details, please contact the Office of the City Attorney at 305-895-9810. And on Tuesday, November 20th, we have an event that was just finalized. We're having a groundbreaking ceremony along Pioneer Boulevard. We're doing some enhancements in that neighborhood, and that's located on Northeast 137th Street between Northeast 6th and 7th Avenue. We'll have the groundbreaking ceremony in the median area at 11 a.m. that morning. Once again, that's Tuesday, November 20th. And last, actually not last, sorry. We have our 38th Annual Winter National Thanksgiving Day Parade next Thursday, November 22nd. At 10 a.m., it runs right through downtown North Miami along 125th Street from Northeast 5th to 12th Avenue. We invite you, if you haven't been to the parade, we invite you to start a new holiday tradition with your family and enjoy colorful floats, spectacular bands, and fun for the entire family that morning. Bring your own chairs for a great view curbside, and we have broadcast areas right here at Northeast 8th Avenue as well as Northeast 6th Avenue toward the start of the parade and Northeast 10th Avenue. So there are great opportunities to see the parade, come out, bring your family for a great view along the curb. Why watch a parade at home when you can come out and enjoy a live parade right here in the city of North Miami? For more details, contact the North Miami Parks and Recreation Department at 305-895-9840. And beginning Saturday, December 1st, our Parks and Recreation Department will be hosting Family Fun Nights at Griffin Park. That's located at 12220 Griffin Boulevard, starting at 6 p.m., and it will be the first Saturday of every month. We will feature an outdoor movie. similar to what I was talking about earlier that's happening this Friday. And we'll have entertainment, live music leading up to the movie, snow cones, popcorn. It gives you an opportunity to bring the family out and enjoy the park that evening. So mark your calendars, the first Saturday of every month, starting December 1st. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Solomon, for your presentation. City project update, Mr. Manager.
Mayor, we're going to hold off on that item
Okay.
until December.
I guess we got another, a couple more weeks before the end of hurricane season. Anything happening in the Atlantic Ocean?
Nothing that we know, Mr. Mayor. We have been blessed, and let us hope for another season without the hurricanes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. As most of you know, that in the last couple of years, the city received 3 national awards, and one of them, which was recently announced, which is the 2012 MOCA, was awarded by the National Medal for Museum and Library Services, which is scheduled at the White House tomorrow afternoon. So I'm going to need to leave here early so I could be there for that award. So I'm not sure how far I'm going to be here with the agenda, but I just want to I just want to make sure that the public is aware of it. I will do my report as we go through to make sure that I cover my part of it, so I can actually get out of here. But I mean, just briefly, 3 national awards in the last 2 years, starting in 2010. I know one of the 10 best cities in the United States of America. I know cities that spend $300,000-$400,000, trying to not only the preparation of the application, but also making sure that they're flying a team of experts to go to Kansas to do their presentation, and still, has not been able to actually get such a recognition. Not only that we got that recognition, but cities around town wants to know what is happening with the city of North Miami to get 3 national recognitions in just 2 years. The last one that we received immediately after that was the Playful City that we got earlier this year in 2012, which is another important national award. And not to mention, 15 to 18, both local, state, and federal awards that we get in the last 3 years. So I'm saying that because it looks like, if we don't say it enough, no one else would go out there and say it. But I really would like to see, some kind of recognition coming from the city, letting people know exactly what we have been able to do under extreme, circumstances, and bringing the city forward and getting 3 national awards and 15 local, state, and federal awards. So this presentation that will be done at the White House tomorrow afternoon, I think it's scheduled from 4 to 6. Not only that I will be there, but the museum director will be there along with some of the board members from MOCA that would also be there to receive that award on behalf of the museum. And I know soon we're going to discuss exactly what we're going to do with the museum expansion, which way is the best way to actually get that funded. So just to move on, can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to remove tab J from the consent agenda and place it as a standalone item on the regular council agenda.
Okay, why is that?
I have questions, I know myself about it, and I have been contacted by several members of the public who also have questions.
Okay, well, you could ask your question at Citizen Forum. We could take any question that they may have about that. But I'm saying, since you make your motion was made. Okay, no one seconded your motion. Motion is dead. Can I get a motion?
May I ask my question at least?
Sure.
I guess I have 2 questions. The $154,000 that we're transferring from the general fund to the NSP1 fund, is that money coming from Biscayne Landing reserves, or is it coming from somewhere else?
It's coming from unexpected revenue.
What type of unexpected revenue? I mean, that's a significant amount of unexpected revenue. Where did we get that revenue, I guess?
Well, throughout the year, through the mayor councilman, we have areas where we anticipate getting unexpected revenue. So that's where the funding would come from. I'll give an example. There's 2 pieces of property that recently the city just sold on easements. I think they total, one was about 60, the other one is being negotiated around the $72,000 range. Those are just 2 to make mention of it, but those were unanticipated or unexpected revenue that was not in the budget that we did get.
Okay. That money, though, if it weren't being used in this case, would stay in the general fund for other projects?
Yes.
Okay. The owner of the home, when it was previously considered one of our NSP1 HUD properties, when they bought the property, they had to adhere to certain guidelines as to staying in the home. I don't know what all the details were. They couldn't move out at a certain period, and then they had to make sure that they stayed and paid back over a series of years. Do those guidelines go away now that this is no longer technically an NSP1 home?
That home, to the contrary, that home is still an NSP, in the NSP program. So all of the guidelines that existed are still in play.
Okay. My last question. Staff told HUD that they made a mistake in not knowing the conflict of interest guidelines. That's a big mistake, $154,000 mistake. That's money that could have been used for many other things in this city. That's a big mistake. What punishment have you doled out as a result of that large mistake that's costing our taxpayers so much money?
We are still looking into our response, or providing a response to HUD and to see all of the responsible parties. For what I've been able to determine at this point, that this issue took place 3 years ago. The employee is no longer with us that handled that project. So basically, we're looking at other areas that of concern that involve that particular employee that we discovered since the audit, that we've actually taken back to HUD to look into, without going into much detail on that, because of possible investigatory purposes. But there were other areas of concern just from that particular employee. So once we finish looking at everything, we'll be able to look at a cause and effect, and then put, as we are now, putting a plan of action in place moving forward. But this issue took place about 3 years ago with that particular employee that handled this that's no longer here with us.
So it's your belief that nobody who's currently on staff has any fault in what happened 3 years ago?
I can say that no, and that's one of the things we're putting in place. We're putting in a checks and balances in place to make sure that directors have an opportunity to review. And I'm certainly not saying that it should not have been done at that time, but that was just not the normal process. That there are checks and balances to ensure that there's certain conflicts or certain items that should be done, like a checklist, that should be done throughout the entire process, and there's multiple people checking off to ensure that certain things were done. That was not in place then, but that is in place now.
Okay. And did I understand you correctly in saying that you believe that HUD may still have an open investigation in this matter?
Not in this matter. We brought another issue to them.
Okay.
And I don't know what their position is on it, stemming from that same employee. that's no longer with the city.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Manager. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. The mistake was the application that the city had, which never had a place that for you to check whether a waiver was needed, right?
Mayor, the issue, you're correct. What happened was on our application, we should have had a checkbox.
And that employee that made that mistake is no longer with us, right?
Correct.
And that's the same employee that called to say that a mistake was made, right?
Yes.
Okay. And that same employee also have other issues with the city that he never called to say that he made those mistakes either, right?
We're looking
right.
into other
Thank you. I make a motion to approve the consent agenda. Okay, anyone wishes to record or no?
No.
No. Tab L. I'm sorry, tab K, okay. Mr. City Clerk.
An ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, amending chapter 15 of the city of North Miami Code of Ordinances entitled Pensions and Retirements by amending article Roman numeral 4 entitled North Miami Police Pension Division 5 entitled Benefits, specifically at section 15-129 entitled Retirement Benefits, to implement the provisions of the collective bargaining agreement between the city and the Police Benevolent Association, PBA, and to allow members to revoke a prior early retirement election, providing for repeal, conflicts, severability, codification, and an effective date.
Has been moved. I second it. Public hearing is open on tab K. Public hearing is now closed on tab K. Any question, Councilman Blen?
No.
Councilman Marcellus?
No.
Councilman Gavin?
No.
Vice Mayor? No. Okay, motion was made. Mr. City Clerk?
Councilman Galvin?
Yes.
Mayor Pierre?
Yes.
Councilman Marcellus?
Yes.
Councilman Blen? Yes. Vice Mayor Steril? Yes. Ordinance passes 5-0.
Tab L.
Proposed resolution strongly urging the Florida legislature to amend the Joe Carlucci Uniform Firearms Act, Florida Statute 790.33, by allowing local governments to consider the enactment of appropriate stricter firearm control measures to ensure the safety of their citizens at city public parks and city playgrounds.
Okay, second that. Public hearing is open on tab L. Public hearing is not closed on tab L. Basically, we have seen a lot of shootings, not in the city of North Miami, but around our city parks. And what this is doing is to allow basically city to pass laws that prevent certain individuals from going into our parks with their firearms. I mean, this is all that's happening. Basically, I think at this moment, as you know, the NRA is a very powerful organization. They have lobbied the state of Florida to death to make sure that they get this passed through. And I think at one point they were thinking about, some hunting parks. They never realized that this was for a place like City of Miami, where children will be playing in parks and allowed people to carry their guns, in those parks. So this is all it's doing is basically allowing municipalities and county to pass stricter law to prevent certain folks from operating in our parks with a firearm. So motion was made, it was seconded. Councilman Blen, any questions about this resolution?
No, it's an excellent idea.
Okay, Councilman Marcellus?
No.
Councilman Gavin?
No questions.
Vice Mayor? Okay, it was made. Anyone wishes to record or no? Hearing none, item passed. Tab L1.
Proposed resolution authorizing the city manager and city attorney to negotiate and execute a Fourth Amendment to a homeowner development assistant agreement in substantially the attached form between the city of North Miami and 125th Developers, LLC, to provide for an extension of the loan term.
Okay, basically all we need is some additional time, right?
Correct.
Okay, public hearing is open on tab L1. Public hearing is now closed on tab L1. Councilman Blen?
No.
Councilman Marcellus?
No question.
Councilman Gavin?
Yeah, didn't we just do this a couple of months ago? Time blurs a little bit in my ancient head up here, but I thought we just did this.
Through the mayor, Councilman, yes, we did. However, there was a delay in the closing. We anticipated closing within the week, but because of that time, the extension is passed. So what this allows us to extend the term so to facilitate the closing,
Okay.
which was delayed.
And what does this then actually do? I mean, this was just handed to us as a last-second edition. I haven't had a chance to read it, and I'm going on a foggy memory. What does this do for us?
Through the mayor, councilman, what this allows us to do, under the program, funding was provided to them to put individuals and buyers in this particular establishment. But because of the market, they were not able to sell. So what they're doing now, this allows them on the new sale to enter into a rental for a particular period until the market potentially passes through. And the renters get a special discount under the program, under the guidelines of the program, instead of a sale, until such a time the market comes back, and then they will be up for sale.
So 125th Developers LLC will continue to own the property and lease it to tenants?
Yes. They're it's going to another owner? It's going to another owner, but what this allows is that the program will stay in place with the new owners.
Okay, so Everbank is the new owner of the property?
Correct. And so they will stay in the program.
Okay. And so Everbank will continue to make these 35 units available to affordable housing applicants?
Yes, actually it's 14.
Oh, 14.
So, yes, it's 14. Some of them was done, but there's 14 left.
Okay. And why did you bring it to us tonight as a standalone as opposed to just bringing it to us on a published agenda in 2 weeks?
Well, it should not have been, if they had the closing, we would have been fine. This is only being brought to you tonight to extend the contract that you previously approved because the closing did not take place. So it went beyond the deadline.
It's before us because the closing was supposed to happen on or before the 14th of November, and now they're requesting an additional 2 weeks.
Gotcha. Okay. Now that makes sense. Okay. That's all the questions I have.
All right, Vice Mayor?
No, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve? Okay, you did motion and I seconded. Anyone wishes to record or no? Hearing none, item pass. Citizen forum. Okay, citizen forum is not closed. Council reports. Councilman Blinn.
Good evening, everyone. I participated in an unusual event this last week. It's called the 5,000 Role Model Tie Your Tie program at W.J. Bryant. It was a pleasure to see all the children understanding how important it was to be part of this program and their achievements. There was probably 60, 70 students who got their ties from the 5,000 Role Model. The next week, I was the principal of that school, J.W. Bryant, and my 3 children, by the way, graduated. School is now a magnet school, and it partners with the Haitian Heritage Museum, and it's been a recipient of several federal grants. They have a better grant director than we do, it seems. We are going to get a grant director, I hope. They have a vegetable garden also. It's a wonderful school. I think it might be my favorite. I was impressed with the teachers, the staff, support teachers. I think there's almost 80 teachers there. It's an outstanding school, W.J. Bryant. We really have a necessity for a grant driver, Mr. City Manager. It's essential to tap into those monies, and I do hope we get a grant writer. Working with staff for Kaboom projects, we qualified, and I was one who got us qualified for Playful City USA, American Bloom, planting gardens projects for all types of things, free to the city. And I'd like to make a final announcement. We have it's like a mom and pa operation that's been here 50 years. It's called Mr. Trophy. Hiram runs it, and he's telling me he's going to have the greatest special float we've ever had in our 50th anniversary for his company and our parade this coming Thursday. And I'm looking forward to that. And I've been to 14 of them, and I think one other person in this council has been to 14 of them.
Well, I've been coming to him since I was a little kid.
Yeah, he's been coming to more than I do. But anyway, we enjoy him very well. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Marcellus?
Mr. City Manager, the $2.5 million that we set aside for different things in the last meeting, and I really want if we can put this thing on the next agenda and we can proceed with it and earmarks the money for the purpose intended.
To the Mayor, Councilman, yes.
And second thing, let me say this thing. I have read an article from Biscayne Times that mentioned when the people came here at the city council meeting to voice their opinion, and they probably pressure Councilman Marcellus to vote their way, and probably some council members probably encourage them just to come over, because when they hear and Councilman Marcellus probably changed the vote the way he's used to vote because of their pressure. I just want to make it clear to everyone, to every citizen in the city of North Miami. I voted because the way I voted because I think is in the best interest of the city of North Miami. Regardless, there is one person in this room or 1,000 that won't change my views or my judgment if I believe this thing is the best city of is in the best interest of the city of North Miami. If I have to stay alone, I will, and I think I did that before. When I have to fight against your partners for the deep water injection well, I think I stood up alone on that battle. I was alone, and I didn't mind how my fellow council members think, because at that time I thought it was in the best interest of the city of North Miami. I put up that fight. I fought Swedlow Group and Olita Partners, and I won. Not because the citizen came here and pressured me to vote or not, because I thought it was in the best interest of the citizen of North Miami. And let me make it clear again. I represent the citizen of the city of North Miami. If it's happened, I vote certain way, you're in line with my vote, thank you. And you show your support, once again, thank you. But not because there is a full of room of people that's the reason I vote certain way. And once again, if I have to vote certain way, you're in line with it, you show your support, I say thank you. And I'm here just to represent you and not to influence by the pressure of anybody, but to do the best thing for the citizen of the city. Thank you very much.
Councilman Garvin?
Thank you. Point of clarification through you to Councilman Marcellus, if I might.
Sure.
Councilman Marcellus, did you ask that we put the Biscayne Landing money on the agenda for November the 27th and talk about spending it?
I said the $2.5 million that remaining that I should for this, the purpose intended, yes, I asked that.
Just a favor to ask maybe that we put it off to the first meeting in December, simply because you've got the Thanksgiving holiday that falls in the middle, and I'd love to have a workshop or two with the community come in and talk about, that's just my opinion. You know, the city, I think the city should host, I mean, you know, Mayor Pierre and I hosted a couple on our own, but I think the city should host a workshop, just my opinion.
And believe me, Councilman, I don't have no problem with that. The only things that I believe we have to put in the agenda and at least to start making the money.
The request is, do you want to push it to the first meeting of December? Is that what you want to do, yes or no? If not, we leave it on this November 27th.
Hey, Mr. City Manager, let's put it for the first meeting in December.
That's the request. Okay?
Yes.
Thank you, Councilman.
What else?
Thank you. I just want to say a big thank you to our library staff. As you all know, there was huge election turnout on November the 6th. I waited in line on election day for 3 hours, but hundreds of thousands of other people waited in line at the North Miami Public Library for 6, 7 more hours just to go into the polls to vote. And every single day of early voting, even though there weren't enough of them, but every single day of early voting, our library staff was there with a smile to make sure that everybody was taken care of as best as possible, that the bathrooms were cleaned, and that they also conducted the business of the library. I just tip my hat to the library staff. Oh, there's Lucia, our director. She's here. I didn't even know. Thank you, Lucia, for the work of your staff during early voting. Thank you very much. Okay. And that's all I've got. Travel safely.
Yeah, thank you. Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I really wanted to say thank you to the library staff, actually to the city manager, through the city manager, to your staff as well. I know that in the middle of the early voting that they had an issue that didn't have enough space in the city, creating space out of nowhere, that the Department of Election was really appreciated, where we had so many people in line and the process was actually quicker. I think that's how city is supposed to operate, to come to the rescue of its own citizens. And on the election days, specifically in my district, or one of the largest percent that the city has, precinct 135, we had over 800 people in one day. Believe it or not, it was 5:30 in the morning when I get up to go, because I wanted to make sure that my children voted. I went online thinking that I was going to be the first one. I found about 50 people already online. It's 5:30 in the morning. Of course, I text the mayor and his wife, get off. So it was amazing to see how people really wants to participate and to have their voice to be heard. Unfortunately, that we were not part of the success of the President Obama until after what?
4 days.
4 days. No, that was a couple of days, almost a week after then we actually get our votes to be counted. I hope that doesn't happen again. I just want to reiterate the announce that I already make about the turkey drive. We will have the 8th turkey drive in my district, which will take place on Sunkist Grove. I am invited all my my constituent. Unfortunately, I don't have for the entire city, but definitely the people that actually live in District 4, I will make sure that you have a turkey as long as you be there by 12 o'clock. First come, first serve. We should have enough for those who will be online. So please show up, take your tickets. There will be a turkey waiting for you. The next event will take place after the Thanksgiving parade, of course, but I will have the will be the 8th holiday celebration, which is December 9, where we will have toys for our children in the city of North Miami. This event is a city event where we invited everyone in the city. We should be able to have enough toys for all our children, specifically those who are in need at this time. Again, Mr. Mayor, I hope that you say hello to the president for us. And you know how it is. I know you already have your speech prepared, the 10 best city. So good luck, and good luck to Mocha, and let them know that we're in full support of Mocha.
Thank you.
Thank you, and good night, everybody.
Okay. Well, to begin with, let's talk about the election, which I think definitely there should be a constitutional amendment which allowed people to vote in the great state of Florida. It should be back to 30 days, but at least to 15 days. I have already began conversation with groups that are willing to put that efforts together, because it seemed to me that even my conversation with people in Tallahassee, it doesn't seem to be a consensus that the governor is going to open at least 2014 to 14 days to allow people to vote. And talking about this election, it was definitely a team effort to begin with the city manager, which allowed the public library to open an additional space to put additional machines, to bring additional printer, which cut the waiting period from 6 hours to 3 hours. Commissioner Monistim would dispatch the supervisor of elections to spend the entire Tuesday afternoon here in North Miami, making sure that the people are allowed to vote and the votes get counted. Public Works, which brought in the additional restrooms and was there cleaning, making sure that the place stays clean. Parks Department, police, with actually, I think there was one night they had a DUI checkpoint. They took the lights that they usually use on the streets and they set it up in a way that people that were out there till 1 o'clock in the morning actually can, I know they already feel safe in the city of North Miami, but also to look safe, with the lights, clearing their way. Lucia, which was available, I think she works triple overtime. Library stayed open, which is what I like about directors, because they get paid the big bucks, and when they work triple overtime, I really appreciate them for that. So thank you again, Lucia, for doing so. As all of you are aware, the city of North Miami has a total of 29,000 registered voters in the city of North Miami. This election was a 65% turnout. 19,199 people voted in this election. 16,620 voted for President Obama out of 19,000. So I guess the other guy get about 3,000 votes in the city of North Miami. So, which is a total of 87%, which that President Obama got. Although I worked so hard in this election and make sure that we deliver for the president, which by far is definitely the better guy to take us out from where we were. But I'm not feeling well because basically he won without having Florida being a factor. So I feel that all the time my resources that I spent was not really needed, but at the same time, the work was done to make sure that we deliver Florida to the better candidate. Again, as I said, Mocha was awarded the National Medal for Museum and Library Services, which is a national award.
And 5,000.
And 5,000 what?
They got a $5,000.
Yes, they got $5,000. They got plus the award. The award is more important than the money.
Well, the museum
to
director
me,
said she likes the money too.
Okay, and to me, this is the third national award in just 2.5 years. This award, again, as all of us knew exactly what this museum is all about. Basically, is getting the recognition now from at the federal level. The reception is tomorrow, I think, at the White House. I'm not sure. I don't think it's open invitation.
Please,
so
I'm planning to come.
No. So again, very, very happy. Congratulations again to the museum for recognized as one of the best in the country. I think Mr. Blend said it. We received Playful City USA, one of 213 cities in the nation were recognized. I have to say that Mr. Blend was part of it through the Miami-Dade League of Cities, basically pushing to increase the opportunities for children. The city got that in 2012, and of course, All America City, the honor that this city received in 2010. I remember when I was the chairman for the North Miami Chamber of Commerce, I looked at that award and through getting emails from them, and I think it's like God's calling, because from that day on, I said, you know what, the city needs to get an award like this one. And immediately after I was elected, I brought the idea to the city manager at that time, which is Mr. Patterson. Then from there, Russell Benford took it and run with it. There were so many cities in the state of Florida. One city spent $400,000 trying to compete for this award, flying, governor, county commissioners, local officials to Kansas City. But it's not a matter of money. It's a matter of civic engagement. It's a matter of what you do for the community. It's a matter of collaboration for the city. And basically, while the application process was lengthy, but the presentation that was made by the Fantastic Four, basically I was on the phone with them, every hour. What's going on? What are you going? I'm calling Miguel. Miguel was like, I'm sleeping. I said, you shouldn't be sleeping, man. You should be preparing for the oral presentation. Throughout the day, they were recognized as the Fantastic Four, and they did an excellent job in representing the city of North Miami, and they won that award. So 3 national awards in just 2.5 years. I think the last time this award was given in the state of Florida was back in 2008. So basically in the last 4 years, the city of North Miami is the only city in the state of Florida that has received that award. So 3 national awards. Very pleased to see what we do and the way we do it under extreme financial circumstances, that we had to deal with, although we're doing much better now. So thank you to the Police Athletic League and the North Miami Police Department for a successful event on November 2nd at the Desert Collection. I don't know anybody that could have done it better than them. It was a class act. Some other people that weren't there, they felt that they missed a great event. So again, Chief, through you, Francia Burton, who is the young lady that took PAL, along with Officer Stewart, Officer Cherry, basically have decided that they're going to make PAL a factor in this community. I would hope that we continue to provide PALs with what they need. To me, it's not about locking up our young boys and young girls. It's about providing opportunities, provide services, making sure that, I remember back in the ghetto in Westbury, New York, police officers used to harass us. There were programs like this, and I'm glad to see that, that mentality is changing, and it looks like, we are actually making these young boys, these young girls being part of the police department and part of our community. And when I think of protect and service, this is a true reflection of the North Miami Police Department. So thank you so much for all that you have done in our community. Again, wishing everyone a safe and happy Thanksgiving next week. And to all of you who will be attending this parade, I think the city manager, we may have a surprise, but we're going to have to wait and see.
The president is coming?
Well, I think the Kardashian sisters.
You are not supposed to say anything.
We're going to have plenty of candy.
So we'll wait and see. You have to let everybody know. I don't know if it's already, set in stone yet, but it looks like, they will be here to celebrate with us, and we try, and so we'll see what happened. I know the city clerk, he came to my office. He said, "Are you sure? If they're gonna be here, I want to be on the same float that they are in." So I know he's about their age. So we'll make sure that he gets that opportunity. Again, thank you so much for being one of the best in the country. Mr. City Clerk, you heard that I have to fly away. Do we have any reports from you?
Just one important one. Over the past month or so, we've been getting, the Office of the City Clerk have been getting requests from certain businesses in the city of North Miami because apparently some of them overpaid their business tax receipt. After working diligently with the city attorney and the city manager, we have come to a conclusion that some businesses are entitled to a partial payment. And for those of you who've already submitted your request, that request is currently being processed, and some of you are in the audience now. And of course, I want to apologize for the delay. It's obviously the buck stops and starts with me. So we're definitely getting this fixed, and we are, in fact, going to make sure we correct whatever wrong we had. All right, so I want to thank the city manager and the city attorney for working with me on this particular matter, but rest assured, the city of North Miami would reimburse you. Any business owner out there who overpaid, we will put the notice up on the city clerk website by tomorrow morning, and just come in, submit your request, and within 10 to 15 days, we would reimburse whatever you overpaid. And again, thank you for conducting business in the city of North Miami. That's it.
Thank you, Mr.
Sound
City
good.
Clerk, Mr. City Attorney. Any reports from you?
No, just a brief reminder that the Charter Review Workshop is next Monday at Gwen Margolis at 5:30.
Thank you.
We'll be there.
Yes.
Mr. City Manager, any report from you?
No, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Motion
Motion
to
to adjourn.
adjourn.
Second.
Again, thank you so much for being here. We see all of you at the
Happy Thanksgiving.
Parade. Thank you.
I know, right?
I owe the manager.